that would just be that after we finished with this, then I could get started with the oil and start, this is what you were asking about, I think, Stephanie, then I could start effleurizing it while it's still in a bit of a stretch, and that will get it more fully than if I effleurized it just flat on the bolster. And then I can use my knowledge that it goes all the way up here, and so make sure that I go all the way up when I effleurage or strip it. Okay. So then it says quads. What did it say? Passive stretch? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm going to bring her knee back a little more to midline since I brought it out for that knee. Linda, you doing okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. I forgot to warn you, we might not necessarily do everything on both sides in the interest of time.
That's fine.
Okay. So quads cross the knee, so we're going to stretch them by bending the knee. And rectus femoris also crosses the hip, which is why it's good to stretch it in this position as opposed to, say, like this. And that's also why if you're doing a hip flexor stretch on yourself, if you do it like this, if you grab your ankle but don't watch where your knee is, you won't get as good of a stretch as if you pull your knee back because of this part. Okay, so sometimes when we're tight in the hip flexors, if we're on the table like that, our sacrum is going to start popping up as we go deeper into the stretch. So I don't want that to happen, so I have my hand here in case. Mm-hmm. And again, we didn't warm up the quads today. We didn't start face up with effleurage there or anything. So I don't want to go into this too deep, too fast. I want to start gentle. Look over here. Hmm? I heard someone say something. What? Okay. And then slowly I'm going deeper into it. And you'll find quite a variety in how far people can go.
What direction is the pressure of your left hand?
Left hand. Intended to be straight down toward the table. So, of course, the sacrum itself is at an angle, but my intention is down toward the table to keep it from popping up toward the ceiling. So this would just be passive stretch. Mm-hmm. What's next on there? Okay. Some people are so flexible that you do this and their heel goes straight to their glutes and they're still barely getting a stretch. So then what you can do is either with your knee or with the bolster, you can put something under like this. Mm-hmm. So now we're getting more of the hip flexors stretched. Wow. And if I can reach, I'm not very good at this, I don't do this version very much. This is more often maybe in a sports massage setting where you don't have the draping too. But this makes it a much more intense stretch, I would think.
And that hurts my hip arthritis.
Ah, so be wary, ask clients. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. Did you feel that here or in
my hip?
In your hip.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So your hip doesn't want to extend very far, maybe, it sounds like.
No, I have a lot of joint laxity, but I have sciatica and arthritis.
Wow.
So I have to just modulate.
Okay. So joint laxity, we just talked about that, right? Joint hypermobility. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that means we want to be very careful about the PNF. Do you know if you have it all over or more in certain joints?
I have a fair amount in my hips.
Uh-huh.
I think I have fairly shallow hip sockets.
Okay.
And I've had it in my shoulders, although I overdid it and ended up having surgery on one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of it, except
Okay.
with my age, I've had arthritis set in.
Okay. So maybe not as much we're hoping at the knee and ankle, especially the ankle, since we just were.
Well, I had a motorcycle accident on that leg, and so it's pretty. It's still pretty tender.
Okay.
Through the gastrocs and soleus.
Oh, so that would be some of that jerkiness.
Yeah.
So this is part of the value of what we did not do, a detailed intake interview, where I would have found out before I did that. And, oh, here's something else you can do for the tight calcaneus and tibialis anterior. And don't be mad at your client if sometimes these facts come out halfway through the session, because that happens too. And what I've learned is that sometimes we just don't think of them when we should. So, or when the ideal would be. So we just do what we can. So I'm going to be very cautious in demoing any remaining PNF. I may not really go to the end of the range because I don't want to hurt anything. But we can still demo
Well,
what
you
it
can
would
do whatever you want to do, I'll just let you know.
Okay, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sprained both ankles and, you know, I have a lot of scar tissue, but I continue to work on it.
Okay. So that was the knee under the quads, just for those times when you really need and want some extra stretch. And then what do I have? PIR, so post-isometric relaxation. This is mainly going to be for the aspect of the quads that contracts the knee. So I think this should be all right. Do you have hypermobility at the knee?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. I think, but with the quads, we're not going to be, let me think. I think this should be okay, but I'll take it a little easy. So to stretch the quads is to increase, to keep bringing her heel closer to her back. And so what I would do to fatigue them first, this is the post-isometric relaxation, is make sure I'm pressing on the sacrum for safety. And then have you take a deep breath in, Linda.
Except I have a cramp in my hamstring.
Oh, okay. So let's see. So then we want to make you, so press your foot out into my hand here. And release. How is it now?
I was really only feeling it as you were bringing my leg in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay. Actually, this works out really well. Go ahead and, I'm just going to not bring your foot as far in to do this, but go ahead and press into this hand again. Just part of your strength. That's good for a couple more seconds. And then release. So let the movement complete. So now if she didn't have the cramp and I were really intent on stretching the quads, I would start this and I would keep going and her ankle would probably come a little bit closer. And we might repeat that a couple times and by the end her ankle might actually come all the way to here. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to provoke that cramp again. But what we illustrated was that post-isometric for quads equals reciprocal inhibition for hamstrings because they're antagonists. It's the same thing either way. By pressing into this hand and trying to straighten her knee, that tightens the quads, so it's going to fatigue them so they'll stretch farther. But it also turns off the hamstrings because they're the antagonists to it. Makes them stop cramping. So we might be able to do it on the other side, but I'm also thinking that I've got a long list today and maybe we should keep going. Does this feel okay? Okay. What's next?
Glute max and medium pin and stretch.
Okay. I'm going to check which side feels tighter. So, oh, this is plenty tight.
Well,
They both are?
the both,
Okay.
my right side is perpetually contracted,
Okay.
but the accident was mainly on the left
Okay.
lower leg.
Okay. Yeah, they are both tight. I'll do both sides of this. I think I can do it fast. Actually, maybe not the best attitude to have toward body work. The speed aspect. So